I'd also like to thank Refugee and Namaskar everybody. You already introduced about how we became refugees and were bounced into 7 camps in Nepal.
7? I didn't know. I thought only 1.
7 camps in 2 of the districts with no better future prospect. So I think I should start with how we were living in Bhutanese refugee camps in Nepal. Like if anybody asks me, I normally say I am a Nepali speaking Bhutanese. There is a confusion going on around. Even big media houses sometimes misquotes these things. Like I speak Nepali, originally my mother tongue is Nepali, but my fathers, forefathers and whole generation stayed in Bhutan. Now Bhutan seems like one of the underdeveloped, but is a better country because of support from India. So I say I am a Nepali speaking Bhutanese. Now I think I should add American as well. Nepali speaking Bhutanese American. So we were bound to stay inside temporary huts in Nepal almost for 19 years with uncertain futures. I didn't even expected that I would be here one day. Yes, I struggled a lot, not only me, one of my friends, Suman, is here. Like the youth, like the ages of we people, many people suffered there without any better future. Most of them, even they didn't get the chance to study. By chance, both of us were lucky that at least our brothers or sisters were supporting one way or the other to at least get some knowledge. So we stayed in Nepal without any better future prospect, without any job opportunities. As if to mean, I cannot explain you. To be very honest, maybe I can make you understand how refugees feel, how refugees will be frustrated, or what the situation will be once people become statelessness. But I cannot make you feel that, because it is only refugee that they can tell well about their stories, that they can tell well about their sufferings. It's very sad that almost we lose our youth's life. We didn't have the opportunity of how youth's life is. Despite having willingness to get enrolled in latest technologies, or even that could be going through some of the latest developments, we were bounced into refugee camps. We lived in such a hut. Even during rainy seasons, no drops of rain used to go outside. I can't imagine. Still, some of my family members, including my dearest parents, are inside that hut. During monsoon seasons, no drops of rain goes out. And we were even bound to live with less foodstuffs. You can imagine, we used to receive around 5 kilograms of rice for 15 days. I don't think this stuff is enough for at least basic living. So, and now the United Nations has warned that it will cut budget for foodstuffs. And finally, with no better future prospect and without seeing any feasibility of early repatriation, maybe the United States came up to resettle refugees like us to this land, which they say and the world say this is the land of opportunities. And mainly, we being in New York City, I think we have certain hurdles, we have certain puzzles, we have certain difficulties in the initial phase. But basically, as this is the land of immigrants, might be this is the right place as well. And to date, at least 24,000 Bhutanese refugees have been resettled in the United States so far. Still, the government says it can extend up to 60,000. And even if all refugees, that is 108,000 ways, it's going to resettle these refugees here. Normally, I don't care about my future because I think I can do better here. But I normally worry about those with no English. We have lots of people. I was trying to meet them with Ratiji last time, but I couldn't because she was having busy schedules. So we talked only for a few hours. People here are of different kinds. They have come from different backgrounds. even without having experience of visiting a small city. They can't imagine about New York City, which is one of the biggest ones. Even often I get lost on the way. For instance, it's 3 months that I have been here. Now, well, we were coming from Bronx, we lost on the subway, and then we were trying to see where is Lexington Avenue, and we should read in between 39th and 14th Street. And we asked the police. I can't imagine about other elderly people, aged people. Most of their life have been already restricted within certain meters from their buildings. Like there are aged people who can't walk away up to much distance because they cannot return home. Once I was explaining to Anandaji, telling that I met an old man. As a journalist, I had some inquiries. I asked him, I talked with him for an hour and then said, suppose, Grandpa, if I bring here a car, make you get inside and then drove you up to back side of the building, tell me, will you be coming in front and open the gate and get in? No, I can't imagine that. I cannot do that because I can go very steadily and can move this way up to at least 2 or 3 minutes, this way up to 2 or 3 minutes and then come back. But to my opinion, this is not the real life that we have to face. At least we have some sort of relationship. Like we have brotherly relationship. We belong to almost the same land. Therefore, I think it is a high time that we all collaborate to one another, at least for assisting these refugees. It should be around 300 in numbers living and staying here. Like Anandaji was earlier telling that I was working as editor, reporter and publisher for some of the publications that I founded. I worked as a journalist since when I was 14 years. But for the first time after almost 9 years, I was having a digital camera in hand and gifted by Refugee. So this is the situation we can imagine. Like I was staying in Kathmandu, but despite willingness, I couldn't afford for that. And people here are now the winter season has already begun. Anandaji was earlier saying that he has collected some stuff, which he is trying to deliver by tomorrow morning, particularly the winter stuffs. People there are bound to seafood during this season. I don't know how it happens when snow falls. Personally, I haven't even seen snow besides sleep. So I can't imagine how we can stay. And very unfortunately, we are in such a building that we don't have heat system.
Could I just explain this? When I first went to see Thakur Bhai, his apartment was freezing, literally freezing. And I said, don't you have heat? He said, no. I said, do you know how to get heat? He said, we talked to the super, but nothing. So I gave him the heat hotline and so on. I visited again about a week ago. They've had one evening of heat in his building. And when he's talking about language problems, when I first went to visit him, I had to dig him out through the New York Times and so on, and Kirk Semple gave me his email address, and then, coming from a totalitarian state, there was a low trust level of, new people coming in, am I a stooge of the Bhutanese government? There are all these types of questions. But when I got there, I saw one elderly gentleman, in a typical Nepali outfit, with the tight pants and the hat and the jacket and so on. So I asked him, spoke to him in English and there was no response. So I spoke to him in Hindi and I said, Hindi aati aapko? So he said, a little bit. So I asked him for your apartment. So he took me up there and introduced me. It really is. Bhutanese refugees are the only true refugees we have in South Asia. Everybody else is an internally displaced person. There's a big difference. Thakur Bhai and Sunam Bhai, they have no passport.